Today is May 14th. The Yankees have the most wins in the American League. They go to Minnesota to take on the Twinkies. Boone joins us, and we discuss the team. Let's talk Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Recaps galore.
Weekly wars. Stat lines, steaming hot takes.
Woo! Your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy.
Ha!
John Boy and Jake.
Whoa!
Talking Yanks with old John Boy. John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. We got BBD producing in the corner, and we chatted with Boone about the team. We got into some deep life stuff. We got into some Yankees baseball stuff. We got a 3-game set in Minnesota against the Twins, who have been playing really well of late. Could run into a little bit of like a tougher schedule, maybe clean baseball. Be nice to see a team play clean baseball. The Orioles did. We lost to that team.
Team ahead of us in the AL East, the Orioles.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Yeah, Twins series will be interesting. Twins have been playing really well. I think they're like 17-3 in their last 20. They had a slow start, and then they fully kicked into gear. So interested to see what those vibes are like. Did you tease there's a Ryan Ruocco update at the end of the episode?
There is a Ryan Ruocco update at the end of the episode. The Twins are 20-10 in their last 30, 17-3 in their last 20, 7-3 in their last 10. The Yankees also 7-3 in their last 10, 12-8 in their last 20.
Paddock, Pablo Lopez, and Joe Ryan. So 3 guys that have been throwing well for them. Rodon, Strom, and Schmidt. Boogity. And we did have...
Oh, I picked up a tell on Paddock, by the way.
You got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very hard to explain.
Okay.
Want me to try?
You can try.
Okay, on his fastball, he's up here. On his fastball, it's very hard, but I did it. He's slower to his belt and kind of comes like a little like parenthesis shape to his belt. On his curveball, he kind of brings his hands in like he's like hiding. He's quicker from face to belt. So it's not. It's only
tell the Yanks.
No, because it's too hard to explain.
You just did a pretty good job.
Yeah, but when you see it, it's very hard to do.
Quicker to.
But
his
I
belt.
was like, I was getting good at it.
Okay.
And I was watching, and it was just off his last start.
Homers tonight. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, and it's only in the windup. He kind of like folds his glove like down on the curves to like hide because he changes his grip. So he's like quick to his belt.
Okay, watch out.
Be on the lookout. Watch the glove from face to belt. If it's kind of jerky, I think it's not a fastball. Smooth fastball.
Okay.
Everyone be on the lookout.
I'm in.
Go Twins. Psych.
No.
Psych.
Oh,
That was a big time psych. Who's pitching for the Yankees this series? What's the 3?
Rodon, Strom, and Schmidt.
Okay.
And there was some jokes in our Yankee chat that Twins and Yankees are on a collision course for a playoff series. So get ready for that.
The Twins are 7-3 against left-handed pitchers. So they like that.
Okay.
They're 12-1 against teams below 500. 12-15 against teams above 500. Classic Central stuff.
Classic. Come get that work.
Workman.
Or, before we talk to manager of the Yankees, Aaron Boone, I'm going to tell you about Mando. Jim, do you hate foul balls?
Yes.
Yeah. No matter how hard you scrub them in the shower, they still smell. My God. If you've got that going on, please get in touch with Mando.
You can go to a doctor.
They also
change so much of your life habits.
They have deodorant. They have whole body deodorant. Fellas, if you're stankin', take care of yourself. And Mando, it's made with mandelic acid. Not in my book. But it picks off odor at the source. A lot of pickoffs in baseball these days. Keeping you fresh for up to 72 hours. Use it all over. Pits, bellies, butt cracks, stinky crevices. Hello. Clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap. Okay. So, fellas, if you're on the road a lot or if, smell's a problem for you, go check out Mando. And I have a discount code to help you get hooked on the favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off the starter pack with our exclusive code, 40% off. Use code YANKS at shopmando.com. Shopmando.com. There's a link in the description. Take care of your body odor. B.O.
Stop smelling so bad.
Smelling Boone.
Welcome back to another episode of Bantering with Boone. You guys win another series. You've won like 8 series, 8-2-1, I think it is, or something like that. I don't know. You keep winning. You have the most wins in the American League, I think, unless someone caught you yesterday since you guys were off. And we're a quarter of the way through, Boone. So we have some questions where we just want to check some boxes and see where your head's at after biting off a decent chunk of the season, and the team's in a good spot.
Yeah. Yeah, a little just past the quarter pole. So it sounds like a big chunk, but then you say, man, we got 128 left.
Yeah.
So still a long way to go. But obviously we've got off to a good enough start to put ourselves in a good situation, and we just got to keep plugging away.
Man, 120. That's funny. We got a lot of baseball fans in the office, and we've been talking about the quarter pole, and, baseball fans do that head turn like, wait, is winter coming? And then when you say 120 games, that makes me feel a little better.
Yeah, summer's not even here yet.
With that, we'd wanted to phrase it because we kind of do the porridge is too hot, too cold, just right. At the quarter pole this season, what's one thing that has beaten your expectations for this team? What's one thing that has kind of been like right on the nose for what you've expected? And what's one thing that you think has been slightly below expectation?
I think the energy and edge to which these guys are playing with and the purpose with which they're playing with has been excellent. And while I don't even think anything's been close to perfect, or not everyone's all clicking, whatever it may be, they've done a lot of winning things in winning situations. And that's been nice to see. And I think that's a tribute to just the work they put in, the focus they have, the care for one another that they have, and the camaraderie that I think you've seen show. Like, you see the edge and energy and excitement this team has playing with one another. So to see that this group kind of come together, we've heard comments like family and things like that. It does feel that way. And that's, that matters, and that's helpful, because these guys are in it together, and that's what you always hope for. The pitching's done a really nice job. I think the consistency of the rotation, obviously, with Garrett going down in spring training, I'm sure outside there were a lot of questions about the rotation. Those guys taking their turn every time and being really competitive and giving us that real opportunity to win a game every night has been really nice. The bullpen's done their job. The offense has done a lot of winning things, and I feel like is starting to really get on track now, especially as the warmer weather comes in. So, we got a chance to be good. I think that's what this first quarter has shown us. But we understand it's only just a chance still. We got to continue to go out and get better. And but I like where these guys' minds are.
Okay.
Well, we still got the other two, but I want to pause and say the edge, I think that's felt by the fans. Yeah. I think we've seen teams that have had it before, and we felt like the last couple years it was a different vibe or wasn't there at times. Do you think that's personnel, or do you think that is, coming up short, getting swept in the ALCS and then not making the playoffs? Do you think even the guys that have been here are kind of like, hey, screw this, let's go?
Yeah, both.
Because Verdugo's getting a lot of love on the broadcast and by, everyone watching for his.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
first of all, Doogie's obviously a really good player, and it's been excellent on both sides of the ball, whether it's big hits or big defensive plays. But there is an energy and an edge that he kind of plays with. That's, I think the guys have fed off a little bit and felt. Obviously, bringing Juan in. Generally speaking, having way better health than we experienced last year. So, offensively speaking, we're a different level night in and night out. And, we've had our games where we've been shut down. But to me, this year when, we've been shut out or held down or gone through a week where we haven't hit a ton, it's different than at times what we were offensively last year. Like, those games are going to happen just because that's the nature of baseball. You're going to get held down, even if you're a really good offense from time to time. And especially with the pitching you see in Major League Baseball now, it's hitting's hard, man. And, but even when we've been shut down, the level of at bat, I feel like, is significantly better. And that's a lot to do with health, a lot to do with personnel, a lot to do with, balance in our order or whatever it may be. We're in a better place there.
Nick Swisher on a post-game show for the Yes Network recently said that him and Jeter used to always debate. And Swisher would say fun creates winning, and Jeter would say winning creates fun. Do you have a side?
No, I haven't really thought about it. Look, I think one thing that's important in this, especially, in the major leagues, playing here on a big stage, playing for the Yankees, like, I do think it's important that you're having fun playing this game, and you got to have that perspective with you all the time. When you're when you're riding high or when you're really in the midst of some struggles, you got to remember why the game was invented, and it was invented to have fun. And usually when you're having fun, there's tends to get the best out of yourself. So you got to have that perspective all the time. I used to, when I played, I used to, when we're in the air, flying to another city, one of the ways I used to get reminded all the time is I'd look out the window and look down on, when you're in an airplane, and just how big everything is down there, and just how, and it would always hit me with a reality check of however good I thought I was doing, or if I was in the midst of some real struggles, like, you look down there and it's like, it's an awfully big world with a lot going on, that this is, all consuming for us, but sometimes you need that little perspective check of, like, and that reminder, I think, reminds me that as you're going through it, and it's a grind and you're working hard, you got to make sure you're having some fun doing it too. And I think these guys have struck that balance. Kind
of heavy and real on a Tuesday morning, Boone.
Yeah. Yeah.
When that outside the window feeling hits, though, it's a pretty, you feel small and good at the same time.
I think the Germans have a word for the feeling when you see all the headlights on the highway and realize, oh shit, everyone's living their own life and their own problems. Yeah. I think there's a word in German for that feeling.
Yeah, sometimes it's get over yourself. You think your world's pretty important. It's like, get over yourself a little bit.
Who's good for life convos on the plane? Like, if you're talking this kind of stuff, who's the guy that comes to mind?
Oh, I don't know. I've been so many over the years. Who I used to really, Jeffrey Hammonds was great.
Okay.
Jeffrey Hammonds, man, we would get into some thoughtful discussions sometimes on a long flight. He was always with some sage advice.
There was some pop in his bat too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, let's scratch this box quick so we can get back to some more of the good stuff. But what is one team or one thing that kind of has been a little below expectation for you, that if we said, hey, this next quarter of the season, boys, I want to see a little more of blank?
Yeah, I mean, it's more just constantly trying to get guys on track that have, you know, get them going like we know they're capable of. But and it's kind of just incremental improvements in every area. I mean, we can still be a better offensive club. There's still meat on the bone for us from a pitching standpoint. Um, you know, there's always those little fine outliers, the margins that, we're kind of always working to be a little bit better at, because those are the separators sometimes. So nothing specific that I say we got to, it's just, but across the board, we want to get better.
Fine.
Not bad. Hey, can I ask you about Luke Weaver? We'll do a positive convo.
Sure.
He's awesome. Your
Yeah,
thoughts?
it's been exciting. It's been exciting watching him, settle into this roll out of the pen. I mean, to see his stuff really playing up, to see him kind of thriving and enjoying the role. Yeah, it's been great. I mean, his fastball, the life on the fastball, the command of it, to go with the cutter and the changeup have been really, really excellent. And he's carving out a really important role in our pen.
Whose decision was it for the mechanical change? Was that something that Blake and the team presented to him, or he comes?
No, more him,
because it's a big difference.
Yeah, and actually early returns in spring weren't great with it, but he started to really click. I felt like the last couple of weeks of spring, the last 10 days, and then he had an outing actually when we were in Mexico, that one of his last outings against the Mets, where he was dominant in a few innings of relief, and he's carried it right into the season. But it was this is something he wanted to do.
When you're looking at the bullpen, I guess for everyone, it seems from the outset that there's not as clear defined roles as before, because there's been a lot of injuries and a lot of people climbing up and down kind of ladders of usage.
Yeah.
My perspective is that you guys want him to be able to go multiple innings, but he comes in a 2-0 game and pitches the 8th and gets the hold in front of Clay. And right now he's looking like one of the better guys for that role as well. Or are those the same role in your mind?
Yeah, no, I want to be able to keep his length to a degree, like, not to say he's going to be a 3-4 inning guy, long man like that necessarily now, but to be able to have those 2 innings, whatever, on a given day when he's got the right rest, that 35-40 pitches, to have that ability is really valuable. But then there's going to be given days where we may only have him for an inning. And it may be in that straight 8th inning setup role, or maybe even on a day Clay's not available, maybe it's closing out a game. So I think there's a lot of roles that he can fill. I want to keep, the little bit of length we have with him still, but that's in and around when the schedule allows for it, from a usage standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this might be kind of a dumb question, but is like the idea of Luke Weaver being a starting pitcher this year out because, well, knock on wood, the health's been good and you got other guys coming back, but he hasn't been stretched out now for coming up on 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, you never say never, because
Right.
You never know where a season will take you, and if you got to. But yeah, I mean, I see him in this kind of role where he can anything from medium to high leverage, 2 innings or on given days 1. But yeah, it would, if we had to go down the road of getting him back to a starter, it would take some time to build that up.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. You had a lengthy conversation with Nestor after his outing. He and the umpire came out and talked to him as well. The broadcast was guessing, and fans at home, that it was about showing frustration, which with calls and strikes, and the umpire maybe telling him like, hey, I don't know about that part, but then you chatted with him. Can you give us any insight into what that combo was? You kind of had your arm around his shoulder.
In Tampa?
In Tampa. Nestor's last outing.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit of that. I was asking him his thoughts on a couple things. He was pretty ticked off for coming out of the game. He wanted to stay in.
Oh.
So just having that conversation with him, and I had kind of had a conversation with him the outing before on making sure, like, you're allowed to react, and you're human, but making sure that it's not taking us out of our game. If we don't get a call or something like that, or making sure we're in command of our emotions out there at all times too. So, which he is. I mean, he is, and but yeah, just kind of walking through the outing a little bit with him.
Like that. We have one question that's kind of a bummer. Let's Band-Aid it. And I'm glad we talked some real life, because there's a real life side to it. And as we do a lot of stuff here, we want to walk away with a smile or a joke. But Ron gets sent down again, and he looks good. And I think you addressed it with some of the beat reporters. So again, we're not like fully just fucking around right now, but I think we looked it up, and you've had to send him down like 7 times. Like, I guess with each one of those, is it, I don't know, like, do you give him this is a business speech? Like, how does it develop?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was pretty ticked off, understandably, because he's throwing the ball well right now. And really excited about where he's at. Just with all he went through last year, not being, probably not being 100% a lot of the time, going through some struggles, especially in the second half of the season. And, worked really hard this winter to put himself in a good spot. And after struggling a little bit the first half of spring training, he started to really pitch well at the back end of spring training. He's carried that into the year. So, he'll be back. He's just got to keep going. And it's a crappy situation for him. Part of, unfortunately, having options, and some guys don't. I mean, that stuff comes into play. And, but the reality is, just if he continues to perform this way, that'll work itself out and take care of itself. But definitely a tough one there with Ron. And, he was frustrated with it. But because he knows he's in a good spot, he knows he's now back to throwing the ball the way he's capable of. So we just got to keep that going, and he'll be back, and a big part of this.
I know how the options work, and for the front office and cash, and he's you don't want to get rid of someone and then lose an asset for nothing. It'd be Tonkin's the most recent ad, but he's got no options, right? So that's kind of the back end math. Are there times, and this is, I'll separate it from Ron in this example, just in general, where you have, your vote and you're like, no, I don't want to play that game right now. I want the best pitcher. Does that come more into play down the stretch?
Yeah. I mean, those are, you when you're going through these, you have those conversations, from cash and front office down to coaching staff, especially when you have a tough decision to make. More often than not, you kind of know the move you're going to make, or it's right there for you, but you got to weigh those things, especially in the first half of the season, when you don't want to just, lose guys that you feel like could really help you. So you want to keep, as much depth as you possibly can, while also weighing, obviously who deserves to be here. And right now, fortunately, we feel like a lot of guys deserve to be here. And make that case beyond just Ron too. So,
with the new rules, there's a limit of 5 options in a season.
Yeah.
Is Ron at 2, or does the initial one in spring count? And then would it be 3? And if you don't know, that's fine. But
yeah, I think this would be, I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right. And then
I was going to say this is 2, but I'm actually not sure.
Okay.
Have you thought about making more either holidays or significant days for Jose Trevino to play? Because it seems like if there's a Mother's Day or a relative something,
family member's birthday,
he's kind of Judge or Soto for the day. So I don't know.
So we got maybe you guys could put that together for me. So you're saying we got a big sample size now that we can.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it was his son's birthday, Father's Day, Mother's Day, maybe his dad's birthday or the day his dad passed away.
Yep.
He got like walk-offs on 2 of those.
His dad's, I think it was his dad's birthday. Yeah.
So we'll just make a list and make sure you don't, you got to start Trevi on those days.
Yeah.
You can find us some cousins.
Let's see. Holiday.
Yeah, he's playing great. It's exciting to see. Love what that tandem's doing right now. They've been a big part of our success.
Tomorrow's National Chocolate Chip Day, so I don't know. There's a lot of
tomorrow.
Okay. There's a lot of righties coming up. So I know we've talked a lot about that through the year, how you pick, but yeah, we can start sending you some holidays.
Okay.
Huge.
Nice.
I guess Memorial Day. That's one of the.
I think it's got to be a little more heartfelt.
Yeah.
All right, maybe the anniversary of when he became a Yankee. That's off season. That doesn't work.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. All right. Anything you got for us?
No.
Okay.
You guys, we got to get the Rangers and Knicks going.
Yeah.
Our Rangers have scared us with the past couple. The Knicks have kind of been living in fear, but it's almost like Knicks house money because this is still better than they normally get. Rangers.
Seems like Carolina's kind of legit.
Yeah, well.
Rangers fell asleep.
So are
the Rangers. So are the Rangers, though. They should pull one more out. So they got Game 6 in Carolina, right?
Yep, and then 7 back at the Garden.
If needed.
7 Saturday night, if needed, in the Garden after a Saturday Yankee day game.
Oh, so the boys are rooting for a loss down in Carolina.
No.
This could be a good time.
Those bandwagon fans.
Yeah. All right.
One quick dumb one.
Yeah.
I saw an article come out that's Andy
That's
Pettit.
redundant.
Andy Pettit. Okay. All right, Jeffrey Hammonds. The article comes out this morning, hyping Andy Pettit out, and we love Andy. Obviously, I used to joke, one of my early jokes, all Yankee moms loved Andy Pettit because he was like the handsome Texan on the Yankees. It was like, all right. But we've seen him take on a little bit more of a role, and we've heard about that. Matt Blake is unfortunately a fan of us. Like, when Andy rolls through, is Matt Blake kind of like, you got it, Andy? Or how's that relationship work?
The relationship's awesome.
Okay.
Andy, I mean, I can't say it anymore. Like, Andy's so valuable and just such a great resource for all of us and for all of our players. And he just comes in. He's obviously Andy Pettit with this amazing baseball resume and obviously awesome player and pitcher, but he's got presence, but like zero ego, and he's just here to help. And, he plays nice in the sandbox with everyone. He's got really good thoughts, and he's just a valuable part of our staff now. So I tell him, I don't know when he's coming back next. He was in town for the Houston series last. So I think we're not going to see him for a few weeks, but I tell him as much as you can. So
everyone's throwing cutters now, so we'll credit Pettit with that.
That's right. He's great. He really is. He's such a great resource and friend for me but I know a lot of people in our building feel that same way.
It's awesome. Cool. All righty.
All right, boys.
Go get them
next week.
Beat up the Twins.
Twins are good.
Yeah.
So are the Yanks.
Yeah.
That was bantering with Boone. He's in a good mood, Jake. They've won a lot of games.
He was in a good mood, and so are we. The Yanks are good.
Airplane, looking down at the world below you, having feelings of how insignificant and small you are.
Yeah, every day.
Counting the baseball fields. If you count the baseball fields when you're flying on a plane, leave a comment. Say, I've done that.
When we coming into the season, we'll peel back the curtain. We talked about if we were going to do bantering with Boone again, and we were like, yeah, we want to, especially because it would be really cool to do it not during their worst season ever. So it's kind of nice that today we got some good baseball in, but it was also like a cheery, what do you got combo a little bit.
Conversational. More insight into decision making and stuff like that. And how good the Weave Dog is.
there was some off the record conversation about your video you made last week.
Yeah.
Before we talked.
Off the record.
So that's off the scratch it.
Scratched. I liked his answer to being expectations. And I know he went on to name every aspect of the game after giving his first answer, but I'm going to put all that aside. His first answer was the edge they're playing with.
Yeah.
I think that is, it's mentality. For him to say it's not like, results or ability or anything, just the mentality, and it has been visibly different. They're like excited.
Well, not only is it that, and it is funny that Verdugo gets like all the credit.
Well, I think because he's the vocal, verbose one, Soto's the do as I do.
Right.
Care as I care.
But like you said, and he quickly adjusted, and we hoped at the end of last season that it would be one of the one step back, two steps forward, was that, the guys Yankees didn't care about the regular season at all. We even heard it in our Boone conversations around midseason when we were like, hey, you guys need to be hitting a panic button and you're totally ignoring it. And they kind of did the Yankee shoulder shrug, no,
we are good. That's what they said.
In the playoffs. That my favorite part of that was Boone saying we can be a good team.
Yeah,
because you want to see a little Italian boy get randomly angry at some point. It's when I remember the Yankees calling the 2021 season a success for losing a one-game playoff in Fenway Park, that they could have played at Yankee Stadium if they had won one game against the Rays, when the Rays season didn't matter anymore. And then they lose at Fenway one game, and they said it was a successful season. George used to write letters to the fans. So the fact that Aaron Boone is sitting here with a good Yankee team that we believe in, has room for growth still in a lot of areas, and they're saying it's a chance to be a good team, that's a very different tone than even last year.
Who were they even appeasing? Because they don't believe that internally.
I don't know.
That's where it became such a weird dynamic of them versus the fan base, when between their own walls, Hal wasn't happy about 2021. Cash wasn't happy. And you hear them discuss it now. Right. You just think of them as humans, and they're like, no one, you hear, that is part of why we built an edge. But then publicly they were saying that. So I don't know. That was maybe the most frustrating. It was you guys don't believe this. Who are you doing this for?
What is this?
Just to protect the room? Anyway, I like that they're playing with a little bit of an edge. I still think it shows. They still have innings where they die. There's still double plays. But when they are rallying, they are barking in the dugout. There's camaraderie. There's a feeling that, I don't know if we've felt it since those 19 teams. 2019 might have been the last time we felt hey, this is a unit. They're all playing together.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit of an edge. I think the thing that keeps me in check is the 2022 Yankees had a really hot start, and
yeah, but we didn't.
We did in that moment. The wheels started falling off, and we said the wheels are falling off.
When Rizzo came to the office in 2022, he was like, "We're going to win the World Series." I was like, you got upgrade at some positions," and he was like, "Where?" And I was like, "Shortstop," and he was like, "No," and I was like, "Yeah." So even then, I was like, I thought he'd be gung ho about making the change. As is, we're great, and that's how they truly felt in 2022.
Yeah.
When we were this team's awesome, but you got to change out Hicks, KF,
right,
or Donaldson, or was it Donaldson?
He was on the team that year.
Yeah, it was you got to change out one of them, and they never did. Or this team,
got to make the proper.
Yeah.
This team's set up a little bit better. We need to acquire some bullpen for sure, but then everyone just needs to be healthy and hot at the end. And Dominguez and Cole coming and adding, I'm excited right now.
Yes, and they're
2022. I was excited, but worried.
Yeah, I do. There was a switch because again, Stanton in 2022, leading up to the All-Star game, was a very different player. Jose Trevino was huge leader. That there was a clear paradigm shift in that season.
Yes.
And hey, again, that's why I liked Boone's mentality of we can be good.
Can be good.
Nothing has been done yet.
The Twins are good, he said.
He did say the Twins are good, and I think the Twins
are good.
Are good. Oh, is Rucco on the call? Because then I've got to change my sleep schedule.
Maybe.
Yeah, then it's gonna be late.
Crap, he probably is. He's probably calling Minnesota Lynx game one of these nights.
7:40 start time.
Ooh, that changes things.
7:40, 7:40, 1:10.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Is Ruco on the call?
I don't know. We could send the text.
Kay didn't go to Trop, so he's probably not doing the road trip, I would guess.
You'd assume.
All right. I'll do some hard-hitting
Oh,
journalism.
God. TBS Prime Video.
Huh? Prime?
Is it only on TBS tonight?
I'm
Or when they do TBS,
I'm seeing
they do
yes is
and-
available
okay.
for tonight.
That's good.
Tomorrow is a prime night, and Thursday's on yes.
Texted the Rook man. I'll get
Man.
I'll get an
Source
answer
reveal.
after these words.
Before we get that Ruco response back, hey, every Tuesday with DraftKings, we do a daily fantasy league every Tuesday. And at the end of the month, we give away prizes. At the end of the year, we're giving away World Series tickets. So if you haven't done the daily fantasy, it's pretty cool. You get a budget. You create a lineup. I think it's $5 to enter. It's only 200 people. We filled out last week, and all of our people are in there. So you compete against me, Joe's McFly, Shelfie, Jolly, Beebs.
I'm in there.
Yep. So go check it out. I hadn't done a lot of the daily stuff. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I did finish second one week, so maybe that's why. But come join us over at DraftKings. Check it out.
Ruco update. Sadly, no. I have Caitlin Clark debut and NBA
Oops.
playoffs this week.
Oops. Most watched game ever. Oops.
It's a pretty good slate.
Sorry, I'm not doing a Yankees-Twins game.
I said, okay, we don't have to buckle in for anything crazy.
That's good.
Be a nice, benign twin series.
Let's get back to normal.
Flaherty, and it is gone.
Thanks for listening. See you later. Go Yanks. Tell them Grams.
Go Yankees.
Go Yankees. Oh, oh.